So, let's start off with us visiting some scouts. So you guys you're leaving Zaghata for the desert again. It's been a month since you've last ventured forth, and the last time you left the safety of the town, you were in search of something. You had a goal. You were part of a pleasant festival and competition, which led you some interesting and darker avenues than you thought. But even with this experience, you're still not exactly what to expect, as your former adventures sort of are sit around an area, but now you're moving forward in the Seadale region, the Seashine, and you have, I'm sure, mixed views of what this will and what this one. But as you begin as naturally as you do, some of you fall into certain lines and certain. So who of you will be leading forward, and as?
I'm probably like an hour ahead.
That's what I figured.
Sneaking ahead.
Vinda's turning into a bird and scouting out around as a bird. Flying around all over the place.
I figure Erethias is probably somewhere in the so-called center and is acting more as home base. This is where we center our scouting party on, because, like, he doesn't have wings, he's not good at scouting. He plays the banjo, or the lute, and that's all he does.
So you do the marching song.
I can if you want. Probably not wise.
Oh, we'll attract all the bandits. That way we can kill everybody without even having to find them. They'll just come to us instead.
I think
they try to kill the dancing bard, and everybody slays them before they get to me.
I think Jolie, right? Like, I think Jolie is muted because I saw him speaking and I didn't hear anything.
Who?
Shouldn't be muted. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
That's weird. I just said that Bramble would probably be in the back. Not like way back, but in the back of the line. Just watching everybody's behind everybody else. Making sure nothing else is out of the ordinary.
Yeah, with Gorm kind of far ahead, Harmony would probably go up, like fly upward like every 30 minutes and pull out a spyglass and like take a look around, see if we can still see Gorm, see if you can see the caravan, make sure everything's...
Yeah, you're like probably the only one who has a chance of seeing me. Aside from maybe Eagle if she goes up far enough.
Okay. So you guys are pretty spread out as a party.
Brilliant scheme, nothing can go wrong.
Yeah. But with the sort of center being around Erethias, have a sort of pattern in your head. And yes, Harmony, every time you go, you are able, eventually after some searching, to find the distinct impressions that you know to be Gorm, just from traveling for so long. You also can see the caravan, but you don't get to you only start seeing them closer to the end of your day's travel, as you guys started rather late. Probably left at about 1 o'clock, which is really late for long travel. So you only get about 10 miles in your 12-hour journey.
I do want to say something real quick. If ever the stealth would matter, you can just tell me and I'll roll stealth, because that's probably what I'm doing at all times.
I assumed. Yeah, so if there's any party banter or anything to talk about before we go to our first camp, the time. Or we can skip to camp and you guys can have a conversation. Up to you.
Oh yeah, I never made those purchases real quick, but I can just message those to you real quick.
Did you go back to Tila's shop?
Yeah, so he wasn't there when we were talking about the... Yeah, he said he ran off when we were talking about the grenades, yeah.
So there was a whole conversation of me finding out about this.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, but Gorm was going to go out ahead of everybody else anyway, so, like...
That's what Gorm always does.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay. We'll walk out that money later. But yeah. So up to you guys. You guys want to know this. But for the first 12 hours of your journey, you encounter anything dangerous. The road is pretty open. Pretty undisturbed. It's a good first leg without much trouble. But after, about 12 hours, well, 1 in the morning, so much earlier than that you would have to camp, but who wants to make the roll to find a decent shelter? Harmony raised his hand.
Maybe. What's the roll for that?
That was close enough. Harmony raised his hand.
That.
It would be a perception.
Goodness gracious.
Okay. So, you're not able to find the most ideal situation, but you find a large enough hill that had a couple of key rocks embedded into it, and you are able to kind of make at least a makeshift camp where your back is to something. And at this point, you guys have all kind of now gathered back together and are now together again. Fix food, eat things. Anyone wants to do any hunting while hunting for food, or are we going to eat rations tonight?
I'm going to eat fruit tonight.
Oh, that's right.
I'll set up my hunter snare to see if I can catch anything small. But I'm not gonna go stalk things in the middle of the desert forever, because that seems like a waste of it.
Mm-hmm. Just roll a D100 for me. So, wait for a few hours. But your trap doesn't catch anything. Right.
Man, I keep going so sad on the D100s today.
I sort of like to imagine that Gorm was keeping the eye out for any small game while he was ahead. And see it. Maybe roll, see if he shot something.
You can roll a D100 as well.
That seems like it's probably even worse.
Yeah, there's not much out right now.
Yeah, I mean, daytime, especially.
Is there any
in the desert?
Weird stuff going on in the skies above us?
As far as storm stuff?
No, as far as those purple portal
well.
Demon things that came after us at one time.
Did you ever figure out what that was about?
No, not yet. But
sky seems clear as you watch it. The moons are what are the moons like today? Actually, Blender. Yeah, Alpha seems to be at a quarter, and Omega is be halfway seen.
Bramble would like to just take a perception check on Jeffrey to make sure that he feels at ease.
Okay.
Would that be my Beastmaster, or would that be...
I mean,
just
you're a
perception?
Beastmaster, so I wouldn't... I mean, you can roll if you like.
Or would I just know?
I mean,
I
you
don't...
would just know.
Okay,
He
well, let's go with that.
he seems, fine.
Okay.
Actually, even Rafi is surprisingly comfortable. And as soon as there's a fire, going, Rafi, kind of gets off of, usually he sticks by curiosity, but he decides to get off at this point, and he's looking at Jeffrey.
Are you not using the arcane tent thing?
Around.
I will. We're just settling down right now, so.
Ralphie starts circling around Jeffrey, pokes at him, trying to figure out what he is, I guess. This is really the first time Ralphie's had a chance to look at him. He usually stays by curiosity. And Bramble, you've been around curiosity enough to know that his cat is not exactly ordinary and a little more intelligent than most creatures are. And he seems to almost... The cat almost seems to know that camel and leopards don't work together. And so he seems to be poking at him, just circling around him and checking him out. Does Jeffrey react at all to this?
He does not. He trusts the group at this point. So he kind of looks at me, and I just kind of wave like it's okay.
With that, then, Rafi decides to get up on Jeffrey's back. And then he curls up in a circle. Sleeps right there. And that's where he stays for the night. Unless Curiosity has something he wishes to.
It's not like Rafi's very helpful anyway, because, I can't tell you secrets. Because I can't do that. So familiar. They're so helpful.
Not bitter at all.
Nope.
Rafi's only a familiar. He can't help what his others have done.
I'm not saying it's his fault, but also would be nice to have more information.
This is true. It would be nice. This is the part where we can have in-character conversation. Are we going to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
So Harmony,
Okay.
did you know that people sell alcohol that's made from poison?
What are
What?
you talking about?
Apparently it's illegal though. I'm not quite sure why people thought that was a good idea.
Who were you talking to that was... What? I am just so lost right now.
I
Back
don't
up,
know.
please.
Someone was
Context.
talking about it. I don't remember who, but I heard somewhere that there might be this tavern or something in Seashine that sells this illegal poison liquor. So yeah, what do you think we should do if we saw those people? Why wouldn't we just tell the police that they're selling illegal liquor? That seems like what we should do, right?
So you're remembering something, but not remembering... How can you not remember who was talking to you about this? Curiosity, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it must have just been someone in Zaghata or something.
So what did Novi want to talk about? You said you didn't remember that either.
Curiosity literally starts laughing. He's like, "Oh yes, it was somebody who clearly I don't remember who it was," and then he just winks.
I think we would have to be very careful to find out if the police are part of it or not, because this could be a conspiracy theory where there's more people involved than just one. I know that has happened back at home.
That's a good point. Also,
Of
so
course, not
curious.
selling illegal stuff, but
Yeah, conspiracies. So, this person that you may or may not remember, who may or may not be Novi, may or may not have told you things about this. Do you have any more specific details than, oh, there's somebody is selling poison alcohol?
I may or may not have more information if that were the case, but I can't really remember. But I think maybe there might be a letter about it in my belt right over here.
Or is this like, oh my goodness.
Does anybody have a remembering potion?
No. He remembers.
It's a
Yes,
remember.
What is going on?
It's a
This is not helpful. If you're trying not to tell us things, you already told us a bunch of things, so just tell us everything. Because if you made a promise to keep something secret, you're doing a terrible job. Pick one. Either tell us or keep things secret. But you already told us, so just act.
Well, I didn't make a promise to keep it secret.
Great. So don't keep anything secret.
I am so confused.
Okay, fine. If you want to know the whole story, Novi came and took me into the back room, and then she showed me this bottle of liquor, and then it said the name of this one thing on it that was called the Sleeping Masseur, and it was apparently made of like this poisonous liquor or something, but it was empty, and then people were just apparently leaving these empty bottles all around the tavern, and then Novi thought that they were going to get in trouble with the police, and she wanted you to like stake out the place and find out who was leaving them, but then we were leaving and going to Seashine, and then apparently she wanted me to know something that you should go investigate it, and then she said that she wanted you to beat people up, but she didn't actually want to tell you to do that, but then she did, and then I was like, wait a minute, why won't we just go to the police? And then she like started freaking out, and then she was like shushing me, and then I was like, wait a minute, but if it's illegal and they have their name printed on the bottle, then why won't we just go to the police and be like, hey, here's this illegal thing, we should just go turn it to the police? But she was like, oh no, and then she was just like, yeah, well, you should just forget this entire conversation ever happened, and you should just pretend like this didn't happen. And I was like, okay, fine. And then she started writing a letter, and then I asked her if she was writing the letter to you, and then she said some sarcastic something, but then I told her that you were dyslexic and you couldn't read, and then she gave me the letter, but then she said, just pretend that none of this ever happened. So then I tried to ask her, well, if none of this ever happened, that means you never told me to give this letter to Harmony, so then I shouldn't give him the letter. But then she just shushed me and wouldn't listen to what I was saying, so then I'm not actually sure if she even wants me to give you this letter, or if she wants me to just pretend to give you the letter, or if she wants me to hint that we should go to this place and then you should beat the people up, or if we should go and try to solve the problem without talking to the police, or if we should go back to the tavern and see who's actually leaving these bottles, and I don't even know why people would invent this poison liquor. So yeah, that's basically the whole story.
Okay.
Harry, my head hurts.
All right.
Let's add.
All right. Curiosity.
If he has anything in his life.
There's a thing called context. You need to be able to figure this thing out. Okay, so clearly
Vinta is going into the necklace and going to sleep.
You are getting the wrong message, I'm pretty sure, based on that long-winded explanation of you not actually knowing anything specifically. And she was worried that you would tell me the wrong thing, and so instead of you trying to recite everything back, which you just did, she wrote a letter that explains explicitly what we're supposed to be doing. That way, there wouldn't be anything lost in communication. So, to avoid further confusion, how about you pull out the letter, read the letter, and then we'll know what's going on. Got it?
Well, what if she doesn't want you to read the letter?
She wants
to forget the entire conversation. And
she meant the conversation, not the letter.
About the letter.
No. She told you to forget the conversation because she realized you were getting confused and she didn't want anybody else to be confused. So she just wanted the letter to be clear. So the letter is replacing the conversation.
Talking to the police would be a good idea.
Maybe it says in the letter, or maybe you don't need to know that because it's complicated. Just read the letter, please.
Okay, I take out the letter
Please,
and
read the
open.
letter.
At this point, Bramble feels uncomfortable and just lays on the ground and starts to fall asleep.
Okay, one, what was the result
So that's
of
two
my
people who
roll?
have doped out.
What's the results of my roll on cultural lore for this particular poisonous thingy?
Okay, you know these types of liquors are created. They're highly illegal by the Fate Dominion because Dominion looks poorly on extraneous, risky behavior. Like, the Dominion is a warrior-based culture. They don't like things like dying of poison because you were stupid. Not really their thing. They see that as kind of dishonorable. So these things it's frowned upon behavior and just sort of made illegal. It's sort of the way we see, like, pot.
pot moonshine, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Is that it sounds more like moonshine, which is literally illegal to produce, but people do it anyways, and it's highly dangerous to produce it. Okay. Okay, so.
Although the penalties are way worse in the Dominion than they are here, because the Dominion doesn't tolerate. So you know that if what you can gather from what Curiosity is saying, if Novi thinks she might be connected to this, it would be bad for her.
In that case, Ari will get up and wipe his nose from the aneurysm he had.
She got extra XP for that, though, I will say. Good job. You're getting extra XP.
Well then, Harmony, it appears your friend Novi is in a little bit of danger. This stuff is not well looked upon from the Fate Dominion, and the results would not be pleasant if she were to be found with this stuff. I would recommend that we at least investigate this, assuming we can gather what information we can from our particular source. What does the letter say?
Everyone's there's a curiosity.
Curiosity, please satiate ours, as we are currently looking for more information.
Okay, it says, "Hey, I missed you. Parentheses, unfortunately, and had to give this note to Curiosity. Anyway, someone has been selling, in parentheses, totally legitimate and not super poisonous, parentheses, bottle of liquor, parentheses, that will totally not get me in trouble if someone thinks I am selling them, parentheses. Anyways, I would like to ask you that you speak with the owner of the sleeping Messiar and convince him to sell them elsewhere. With affection, a Crimson Force. P.S. I wish we could have said goodbye, but thank you for all you have done, and please keep yourself safe." I am very confused. Is this illegal or not?
The particular liquor that she is talking about, yes, indeed, it is very illegal. You seem to have at least an admirer, Harmony. Good for you. But, yes,
Well,
we need to investigate.
That was
this
many
topic.
details as I would have hoped. But, you couldn't have remembered this, while we were still in town, so I could have just gone to talk to her to figure this out.
Why would I remember it? She specifically told me to forget about it.
It's
I
the
think
note.
she
You weren't
mind.
supposed to forget about the note. The note was the thing that was replacing the conversation.
I tried to
You
clarify,
read a
but
lot
then
of
she
books,
wouldn't listen
right?
to
You're
me.
very
She just
you
pushed
study
me
things all the
away.
time. Curiosity. I do not understand how you still can miss things like that kind of context. You deal with other people. Yes, there were other seekers. There were people you studied with. You've read a million books. Fail to see how you still don't understand context in these sorts of situations. Anyway,
I was understanding it perfectly, and then she asked me if I understood, and then I said yes, and then she said, "I don't think you understand because I want Harmony to beat these people up," and I was like, "Well, you clearly didn't say that, so how was I supposed to understand that?" It was very confusing.
She's like the note. She's trying not to be explicit in saying anything, so then, try to avoid complications from law enforcement.
We were talking about it in the back closet, and I offered to whisper. I don't know why she couldn't just say it plainly.
Never
Because
mind.
if somebody from the
Just,
Fate Dominion...
it's not worth it. It's not just let it go. It's fine.
You will have to learn this eventually. Social niceties are something that you have to learn, or else you will be an outcast.
So if someone is leaving these empty bottles outside her shop in the garbage, and it has another tavern's name on the bottle, how on earth is that going to get her in trouble? This makes no sense.
Because
That's why I'm
it
saying
is
we
on
should just
her
go to the
property.
police.
And I'll
Because
let you
the
think
assumption
of
will be
that.
that she is the one selling it to people. So just because somebody makes a brand of something doesn't mean somebody else can't sell it. So if it's found in the tavern's area, then if it's discovered, then the assumption would be that the tavern is the one supplying it. And then we have to figure out when we go here if they're just selling it to make money and they're just doing it near the tavern, or if it's a deliberate plant to try and get the tavern in trouble so that a competitor can come in and kind of steal things. There's just a couple of possibilities we need to go on that we need to figure out, but we don't have any more details, and we had left before we could figure out who was dealing with it in Zaghata, so now we have to figure out who's dealing with it in Seashine, which is not necessarily where I would want to start with this.
Okay, yeah, but I still have one question though. If it's that bad to even remotely be sort of connected to it that it might shut her out of business, how come we can't get the people who literally print their own names on the bottle? How come we can't get them to be put out of business by the police?
You're assuming that the name on the bottle is legitimate.
Yeah, it's a tavern
actually
that
has a
is in
place.
Seashine, whatever place.
Well, maybe they're also not the ones selling it.
I didn't think about that. How are we supposed to follow up on this lead if they're not the ones selling it?
Hopefully we'll be able to track down some bottles of this stuff and figure out where it came from.
Well, if we were staying in Zaghata, I thought that Rafi could sort of spy and see who's leaving the bottles. But since we're not in Zaghata anymore, now I'm not sure what we're going to do.
Well, we're going to have to go talk to this tavern and see what's going on.
So is this going to be talking with the tavern, or is it going to be quote-unquote Novi talking and punching people?
Depends on if I think they're hiding anything.
I see. Well, anyways, I'm glad we talked about that, because it was very confusing.
Does it make more sense now?
Yes.
It's a good thing Gorm went to sleep, because shooting him at the end was getting very, very tempting.
That was an impressive rant.
Thank you.
So, curiosity, ready for some sparring?
Sparring?
You seem like you have a lot of energy still. You roll down real quick. You must have a lot of energy. Come on, let's go.
Okay, let's do it.
And
I find your fake enthusiasm ridiculous. Comedy doesn't buy it. So yeah, they'll go off a ways.
We'll play his lute while they spar for a little while.
Yeah, so while they're sparring, so curiosity, I wanted to apologize for in that last fight. I left you to go after the slave rush. I shouldn't have done that.
It's okay. I'm just glad that everyone was safe in the end.
Although
Although
my
it's
anger
very
get up the
dangerous for you
better
to
of
go
me.
off by yourself.
It was more dangerous for me to leave you after you had gotten hurt.
Well, I didn't really get hurt until after that fight, when there was all that acid. That was very dangerous. But that was when you were back, so...
No, I was trying to break down the door.
Oh.
And you had gotten hurt, and you had called for my help, and I ignored it. Partially because I trust you, but partially because I let my anger get the better of me again.
In the midst of this conversation, you hear as Ralphie gets booted off a camel as the camel rings away from the human chatter, and Ralphie gets like his hair stands up and he gets really irritated and mad and curls up, and then he darts off to Curiosity and crawls up your body and just claws into your flesh as he crawls up and lands on your head and just sits there and stares at the camel angrily.
Ow! Ow! Rafi, what are you doing? Jeffrey, why are you being mean to Rafi?
Getting up counts as being mean. I could be wrong. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay, but if you could protect me from further acid in the future, that would be nice.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Although I don't know how I'm supposed to stop acid. It seems more like Vinda's department.
How is Vinda going to stop acid?
I don't know. She has weird magic. I have metal, and acid eats through metal, so... Unless I get to the thing spitting acid before they spit acid.
Ah, well, hopefully we won't encounter those creatures anymore.
Right. Well, we should probably get prepped for sleep. Have you put that healing spell on that stone thing that you were talking about before?
Not yet.
Well, you should probably do that sooner rather than later.
There's still a cat on your... Just so you...
That's okay, he can stay there. Or his claws digging into my head.
Yeah,
He
they
put his
are.
claws away now that he's in my head.
There's little bits of blood coming down.
Oh, okay. Never mind, that's not okay. I try to take Rafi and hold him instead of having him on my head.
Did he just scrapes your forehead even more?
Rafi, stop it! I need to take you. Stop putting your claws in my head. That's very painful.
If you take him by his scruff, he eventually lets go, but then he like spreads his arms out as far as he can. Stays that way. Like he wants to.
You are
let go.
very strange, Rafi. I do not understand what you are doing all the time. It is very weird.
Well,
I feel like when
think
you
he
got
may have been
reincarnated,
asleep.
you have a different spirit than you used to before.
I think he may have been asleep on Jeffrey, and Jeffrey stood up, and he was disturbed. How would you like it if you woke up and then were suddenly dumped out of the ground?
Well, is your head bleeding now? I don't think Rafi's head is bleeding.
He's a cat. I think when they get scared, they use their claws. I just stab things with my spear. So, end result, same thing.
I just look at Rafi. Okay, Rafi, would you like to go to sleep on my shoulders, or are you going to keep spazzing out and scratching me?
He jerks and kind of makes a motion that he wants to be put down.
Okay, I put him down.
And as soon as he touches the sand, he hops over and he goes to explore the other cat, which is stone-like, and starts patting and pawing at the fire golem. And then starts walking in circles around the fire golem.
Rafi, don't.
Okay, Rafi, if that goes badly, you better not come over here again and make my head bleed some more, because that's your own fault.
He stops, he sits, he looks at you and gives you the, like, really? Look. And then goes back to circling around the cat.
Use the healing touch on myself to stop myself from bleeding and heal my claw wounds.
He eventually, after he finishes patting the fire golem, realizes that the fire golem is a little warm to touch.
Think so?
And then instead decides to go over to Winter and curls up in her bag and sleep. But occasionally he opens his eyes and looks at the other cat.
The fire golem just ignores him.
Alright, who's taking first and second watch?
Wait, can I ask a question about the spellstone? So it says like it casts it as if you knew the spell, but it doesn't count as you having like the arcane like focus when using it. Or does it?
It's as if you knew it. So, if you're talking about +2 you gain from focusing in, no.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know whether I should put like a good spell on here, because then the target number is so high, no one else would be able to reach it without good intelligence focuses.
Yeah, how many thought can use that spell? That's not happening.
You have to obviously expend the magic points, cast the spell the first time into the stone. But after that, anyone can do it.
They still have to succeed at using the spell. Or if I succeed at putting the spell, does it automatically succeed when they use it?
No.
Darn.
Why
Well, I
not?
guess I'll put my easy healing spell in there then. I'll just put healing touch on this.
You don't have to succeed in casting. You just spend time focusing the spell into the stone. You spend the magic points to use it, and then give it to anyone.
Okay,
Keep it for
I'll do
yourself.
that.
Should you give it to Vinda? Not to Harmony? Because, yeah.
Or Winter, she's got a high intel. Well, higher now.
I mean, you can't get worse than the -1 on their intelligence check.
Try never being able to cast any of her spells. She does that quite often.
Hey, Vinda.
I think she went to sleep in the crystal because of your yammering.
She is inside of her hotel.
Okay, I will talk with her tomorrow then.
All right.
Who's the first scout? Or is no one gonna scout and you're all gonna get murdered in your sleep?
That's like that time my first character fell asleep and we got attacked by vampires.
You mean who's on
Long
first
time ago.
watch?
I will hop up on first watch if nobody else.
Okay. So we have Erytheus. Go ahead and give me a perception roll.
It's a 14 with a bunch of stunt points.
Okay. You can use any of them if you like.
For what? Speedy search?
Advantageous
Make a case.
positioning, maybe?
Make a case for it.
Yeah, I could see advantageous positioning. Kind of putting myself in a position that, if need be, I could warn the group.
And the upper hand.
Oh, upper hand sounds good too. If we get into combat, yeah, upper hand would be really good too. Yeah. With 5, that sounds good.
Yep. So your first half of the night passes peacefully. Some point it becomes 1 in the morning. And at that time,
I volunteer.
you're asleep.
Oh, well. if we had discussed watches before, it was time to switch, Harmony would have volunteered.
Whoever, I'll wake up whoever's next on watch.
I guess it's Harmony. So Harmony's up on
Okay.
watch.
I go over and kick his boots. No, I will gently wake him up.
Goodness gracious.
Oh
what's
my word!
At least I have 5 stunt points. Can I do anything fun with them?
Make a case. What do you want to do with them?
I was just trying to find the stunt points for non-combat, because what page are they on?
I don't know.
Anybody?
Exploration stunts. Let me see.
Page number I don't have because I don't have it opened up. I have a handout though. Or, well, not handout,
Page,
but
on page 77 of the PDF.
I have.
Well, just 78.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, roll. Yeah, I guess I'll just do advantageous positioning.
Alright. Do you do anything yet? One.
Still have 4 stunt points left.
When was Winter supposed to set off those flares?
I don't know. Maybe it's time. Yeah. Maybe not.
I think Winter was supposed to set them off earlier.
That was every 12 hours, and it's only left at 1, so now it's 1.
So, yeah.
Well, it was like in the
If-
morning.
That's true.
No, it's definitely, they definitely said every 12 hours, and it's been 12 hours.
It can't
So-
be every
Yeah.
12 hours because we only have 15, and it's a 9-day thing, and there'd be 18 12-hour periods.
Out of character, I very specifically remember them mentioning every morning.
Okay, to clear up the confusion. It was every morning or about 12 hours, half a day. Either one worked, and they gave you 15 scores.
Yeah, she's not waking up 1 in the morning to set him off, so it's gonna be when she wakes up.
Yeah, once a morning, or once a day sounds fine.
I mean, nothing.
But, yeah. We get the caravan completely slaughtered.
Well, 15 wouldn't be enough if we were using them twice a day.
Yeah.
What is Harmony doing during his watch? About 1 in the morning now. Everyone else is asleep. What are you doing? You rolled perception. You're alone. Your thoughts?
He'll probably go up on a dune near the party and pull out his spyglass and kind of just look around most of the time, examining scenery, but also making sure nothing is coming. So he's not looking at the spyglass exclusively, but like that's where he'd be.
Okay. About 3, 4 in the morning. You've had pretty much a peaceful night. There's nothing been particularly interesting. You did catch a glimpse behind you, camplight, and it's probably the caravan. So you at least know that they've made it that far. They seem to be several hours behind you, but you can see a little bit of them. And there's a gentle, cool breeze going. There's about 4. Then shifts. Just a little bit, just ever so slightly. Oh, warmth. Unnatural, but not unwelcome. Kind of come near you. And it almost feels like a present person standing behind you. And you turn quickly to see it. But there's nothing there. And it strikes you as a bit odd. But then as soon as you turn back to what you were observing, it's just there again. And it feels almost paternal. As though someone's just watching you. Keep safe? Guarded? Or maybe just watching over you like an angel. You're not certain. It's a very strange feeling, but you don't feel that it's wrong or dangerous. It's just a feeling, and you can't quite.
I needed more magic nonsense to be happening with my character. Brilliant.
It stays with you for probably a good hour. Fades away as quickly as it came.
So what, this was like 4 in the morning-ish? Cool, awesome. All right, another thing that I have no idea what's going on. Great.
So then you wait for a few more hours. And about... Wow, how early do you want to get started on the next leg of your journey?
I'll probably, as soon as the sun like starts hitting, like not the sun necessarily, but as soon as light starts happening, I'll probably start waiting here for it because I figured some people might want to eat breakfast and take a while, so I want to get people moving.
Some people like curiosity.
Yes.
As you start waking up, actually, you find that Rob, and he comes.
You cutting out.
You actually find that Rafi is there. And he comes up
You're
to you.
still cutting out too much.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
That sounded fine.
He comes to you. And he just kind of stares. He just sort of beat and stares at you. And it's just odd. He doesn't seem like upset or wanting something or anything. He just kind of sits there. And he kind of looks at you.
I look at him back, like, so Rafi, you know something about what's happening, don't you? You know what? I know you can't tell me because you have stupid rules from your previous person or whatever.
He shakes his head.
No rules this time? So why are you looking at me? Do you know something that you can actually try to tell me? I don't know how you try to tell me because I don't think curiosity has any more of that potion left. Can you write? No, I can't read either. Can you draw out letters in the sand and have curiosity read them?
At this point, Bramble wakes up.
Is there somewhere you need to take me to show me? Okay, so you have something to tell me. You can tell me, but there's no way you can tell me. So what's the point of you looking at me like that then?
He kind of taps you on your foot, and he gives you a really...
And he
almost
cut out
like-
again.
He gives you a really sad meow, almost like he feels sorry for you.
At this
You know-
point, Bramble heads over.
You know, if you could write, this would really be helpful. I don't. You can understand. You can understand what we're saying. How can you not write? I do not understand why this is a problem.
He gives you a puzzling look, and for some reason you think it might be, you can't read, why do you think I can write?
Also, Harmony can't write either, so why does he expect a cat to be able to write if he
Because
can't?
he's magic and understands, and he's got crazy rules, and he knows things, and it's like,
At this point, Bramble says, "Harmony, is
you
there
know what?
anything I can do
Wait.
to help?"
Wait, I have an idea. He goes over to poke curiosity.
Rafi instead goes and looks at Bramble. Kind of crawls up him onto his shoulder.
And at this point, I just pet Rafi.
He lets
Say,
you.
hello, my friend.
Poke
Gives
curiosity.
you a happy meow.
Do you have
What
something
is it,
to tell
Harmony?
me?
Curiosity. I think Harmony. I think Rafi's trying to tell me something. I need you to do is to write a bunch of words or something. Do something so that he can point to things and try and tell us what he's thinking. I don't know if he can actually read anything, but I know he can't write anything because he was nodding at me. But he can understand what I'm saying. So it's going to take forever to figure things out unless we can do some sort of like grid pointing system.
Or he could just blink once for yes and twice for no or something.
If it's something way more complicated, how am I supposed to guess what he's saying? That'll take forever. It's like, do something else with, like, I don't know. I mean, he probably can't read, so never mind. This is probably a dumb idea. But I got nothing. It is really annoying because he's been looking at me and he can't actually tell me anything. And we don't have another
Well, it
of
looks
those
like
potions.
he's looking at Bramble now.
And he's
Just 'cause-
licking Bramble's face, actually.
Yeah, I think that's because I left to go find you. I think he gave up.
At this point, I look at Bramble and say, or like a Rafi and say, "Do you have something to tell me?"
Trying to look at your stuff. who has.
What?
I didn't catch that either. Cut out.
I'm trying to look at your stuff. I thought
Oh, gotcha.
I was reading it different. You don't have a, like, speak to animal, right?
Just the whatever Beastmaster at my level would have.
Yeah.
I have animal handling too, but
Why don't you roll animal handling? Oh, that's really good, actually.
17.
Yay!
Rafi's being pretty playful towards you, but you can kind of tell, just with your experience, and again, knowing that Rafi isn't the most are, he seems almost sad about something, and he keeps sort of twitching and looking towards Harmony. It's like something has made him a little more somber than you're used to him being. You're used to him being a pretty arrogant cat. A little bit more serious.
Okay, I'm going to go stab out in the dark. Could Joffrey talk to Rafi? And vice versa, talk to me? Somehow? Even though he's -2 communication.
Me, Jeffrey.
I mean,
like food.
You know, cat, leopard. Something.
Or what
that
about
might
the
negate
golem?
it.
The golem is magical.
But it's not really an animal, though. It's like an automaton magic blob.
At least he's got part of his family line the same, sort of.
Yeah, no, I'm just out of curiosity. Can you go see if you can figure out a way to have the familiar who's supposed to be helpful not helpful? I'm gonna wake everybody else up. Just if you can get something going, just don't worry about it. We'll figure it out later. We gotta keep going. But can you go do that while I wake everybody else up and see about closing down camp?
Good morning, Rafi. Hopefully you slept well. Do you have a message for Harmony?
He sits up a little straighter and, in a joyful, playful mood, hops up Bramble's shoulder and hops on yours. He licks your face, curls up.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't seem like you have a message for Harmony.
He does look at Harmony, though. And you do notice that he keeps looking at Harmony.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wake everybody else up now while that's happening.
Okay.
So
Everyone
there's
else.
nothing you want to try to communicate, Rafi?
I was literally all three options. I was after each other. This is so terrible. This is worse than Elsa. I want Elsa back. Speak in biblical riddles, please.
No. It's easier to translate Rafi than it is Elsa.
Yeah, it kind of is.
You don't want to quote some things from Revelation and have it make no sense?
At least Rafi can say yes or no.
That is true, because he's not insane.
Yeah, but he can't make up his mind about what he wants to say, yes or
I think
no.
he just doesn't like telling you anything, so...
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
realized that.
He pokes your face, and then he kind of almost seems to point his paw at Harmony.
Okay, I walk over to Harmony, and then...
Then he
try to
puts his paw in your mouth.
Okay, I put Rafi on Harmony's shoulders, and then I walk away.
And Rafi just thinks sad.
yes, that was so helpful. That's not...
He licks your face, though, very happily. Like, just trying to, like, cheer you up almost.
He's like, I'm not... Just... Okay, I'm gonna hold up a bunch of objects I have with me and tell me if the thing you wanted to tell me is related to them. Either like nod your head or shake your head. And if it has nothing to do with any objects, just tell me right now and shake your head so we can forget about it. So we can stop that whole step from happening.
He hops over off your shoulder, sits in front of you, and he seems to sort of look over your whole body. He looks at everything you have. And it's sort of makes up his mind and crawls up and he touches the hilt of the strange blade you found.
Oh, it's about that. Well, if you can't say words, I know it's strange and it's somehow blood magic, but that doesn't help me at all because you can't speak anything. So unless you have something else to add to the conversation, I don't know. This is frustrating.
He then kind of gets up and he stands by you and tries to make himself as big as he possibly can. And sits down.
Something growing? I don't. If we're doing like animal charades, this is going to go so poorly. That was out of character. I don't know what charades is in character.
trying to figure out how intelligent Rob. How would he communicate? That's not a good roll. He comes, circles around again. He comes inside like your shadow, which is now being cast from the sun, and he sort of sits in your shadow. And then when he waits for you to look in what he's doing, he slowly comes over opposite it, on the other side of your shadow. His shadow, her shadow, are side by side.
Sorry, I didn't hear exactly how you described that.
So then Rafi moves over so that Rafi's shadow, his tiny cat shadow, is side by side with your large her shadow. Then he makes himself bigger again, making his shadow look bigger, like it's next to yours.
Are you saying there's like two parts of me? Something that's growing inside of me? Does it have something to do with the shadow soul? Is the shadow the important thing? Is the two the important thing? There's a lot of things going on here at the same time.
Cat facepalm.
Maybe if you would learn how to write, maybe we should both let's both ask Curiosity if he can teach us how to write, because this would be so much better.
There's another cat facepalm.
You know what would have been better is if you had known maybe there's something important to tell you. Maybe, when Curiosity was in this door with Tila, you could have like pointed towards the animal talking potion.
Meow, 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 meow. Like having a conversation with himself, all in cat meows.
Yeah, see, it's better if we can actually talk to each other. Because, honestly, I probably would like you a lot more if we could actually have a conversation. Well, I'm terrible at guessing things. This is not going well, because so there's something to do with the sword and blood magic, and for some reason I could use it, but I don't know what you're trying to do with. It has nothing to do with blood magic. No? Okay. So, but still something to do with the sword. Is it something to do with closing the portals? No? Okay. Not closing the portals. It was made by the Jinn, and I can use it, but it has nothing to do with blood magic, so then it doesn't have anything necessarily to do with the Jinn, because that would imply the blood magic aspect of it. And I'm just saying, so you're saying something about the sword or something about me? Or is it something about both? Okay, is it about the sword? So it's more about me. But it relates to the sword. I just don't know what on earth you're trying to tell me, because you're saying it has nothing to do with blood magic whatsoever. Do you know where we can get another one of these? But I wouldn't really have something that has to do more with the sword than me. I just... So, is everybody ready to leave by the time I try to figure this out? Like, 2 hours go by, I'm like, I still got nothing. He just, like, shadows, sword. I was like, something about shadow soul.
I think at this point, watching you talk to a cat.
Yeah, I think just everyone's like finished packing up and we're all gathered like a short distance away staring at you.
Harmony, I hate to bring this up, but are you alright? You're talking
Rafi looks at you, Ari, and just shakes.
Yes, I get that I'm not alright because you looked sad when you looked at me, but you can't tell me what's wrong. That's not helpful.
You've spent the last hour or so talking to
Have
the
you
cat.
woken Vinda up yet?
Well, you're in the necklace. Ari would have woken you up easily.
After our all-nighter?
Oh yeah.
How does
at least
that
tried
fatigue thing work?
So what were you saying there?
Anyway.
Ari, you were in the middle of saying something.
You seem to be very distracted about this, and particularly in distress. Are you running a fever?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, I'm sick. How about, there's some sort of Jinn sword connection with the message stone that for some reason only I can use. No idea why. I'm not the Seeker. The Seeker's the one supposed to figure out how to close the rifts. This sword closed the rift. I don't know why I have it. Now Rafi's trying to tell me something that has something to do with it, and he can't talk to me, and I have no idea what's going on, and nothing makes any sense. So, no, I'm not okay. No, I'm not sick. No, I'm not crazy. There's something going on, and I have no idea what, because this cat can't talk to me.
Curiosity, he's starting to act like you.
You realize, Harmony, you sounded just exactly like Curiosity yesterday, just now. I don't know if that should concern you or not, but take
I
heart.
think the cat might be making more sense.
The light will show you what's going on, and Ari will look down at the cat or at Rafi and go, "Is the Jinn with him? Like, is
What?
his spirit guarding over Ari? Or, not Ari, Harmony."
Okay, how does that work?
But why would that be a bad thing? Is there something that happened when I tried to close the rift that's on me? No. Then why is there something that's bad or sad? I do not understand.
It's not a bad thing. You can tell by the cat shaking his head. No, it's got more to do with the presence is adding stress to you, which you should not be stressed. But
Look, the next
have
time your
help.
people are threatened with, impending monsters and death,
Gorm just turns
you can
around and
say that I
leaves.
shouldn't be stressed, okay? Yeah, Gorm, you go scout ahead. We'll catch up. Just this is going nowhere, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just need to clear my head, and I'll fly up. It's like, Rafi, if you figure out a way to communicate with me, great. Just, I need to stop trying to guess, because this is just making me frustrated.
Winter goes and lights the thing. The scroll. Flare scroll.
And Rafi hops over to Curiosity, gets on his shoulder, licks Curiosity, settles.
relax.
Curiosity just heaves a very long, drawn-out sigh.
There are times patience is actually a virtue. This time you have to listen to a cat. Your years of listening to Harmony, or to Curiosity, and even myself, will pay off eventually.
Yeah, so I'm flying, like, yeah, well, if he knew he couldn't tell me anything useful, he shouldn't have looked at me like he was trying to tell me something. Until, he could actually
But
tell me something.
He did.
Oh.
The Jinn is helping you. The spirit of that Jinn is helping you. Did you not Okay, Rafi.
Night's just poking Curiosity's face.
You know what?
You
It's just
keep-
he keeps feeling like he's contradicting himself. I don't just. I'll figure it out eventually. It's whatever.
All right.
Let's just make sure the caravan is safe, and then hopefully once we get to Autumn Dream and deliver this gem thing, things will start to make more sense. And hopefully things.
You sure there's not something wrong with Rafi?
He hits Curiosity's face again, and he gets him to look at, like, make eye contact with you. And then he quickly hops off, goes up to Harmony, scratches him on the face.
Ah!
So that he draws blood. And then he gets some of that blood on his paw, and comes back down. And he looks at you. And he puts that on and then he puts like a bloody paw print on your boot. And comes back down and hops up on Curiosity's shoulder.
I thought it had nothing to do with blood magic. I'm so
Wait,
confused.
whose boot did he put the blood on?
Harmony's.
I don't. What does that even? You know what? I'm done. He's gonna fly away. He's done. He's just getting real upset. He's gonna start. He's gonna start punting Rafi, and that's bad because he knows Rafi's the only one who knows what's going on, but he really wants to.
Yeah, I think I see the credence of Vinda's idea that there might be something wrong with Rafi.
He smacks you in the face and shakes his head. And then he gets all indignant, turns around, sits with his back to you.
You mean with his butt in his face?
Yeah.
So, a normal Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's a cat thing, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think this is a good cliffhanger to leave the night on.
Can
Well
we
then.
say right before we end that Curiosity goes over and heals Harmony's face? We don't
Oh, he
have
flew
special-
away. You have to fly after him.
Alright, okay.
I mean, the worst thing I get is cat scratch fever.
Rafi's clean. He keeps it very clean.
Except for the blood, apparently.
Not gonna need toxoplasmosis.
Yes, we're going to end the night here as you guys an excellent journey.
Anyways, thank you for the marvelous evening and marvelous storytelling. Let's see if we can't figure out what this puzzle is with Harmony while also staying alive. Those of you who are joining in on YouTube for the stream, thank you for joining us in. Twitch, thank you for joining us in as well. And those of you who are watching the recordings, I wish you a good night, and I hope you guys have a good night, and God bless.